Los Angeles, Hollywood. When I first saw that big sign up on Mulholland Drive, I had to pull over. It was just too much to take in. And this is the town where dreams are made, you know? This is where it's going to happen to me. You hear that, Hollywood? You better lock up the ladies and put away the cash because Lenny has arrived. The new American dream is one of fame. But reality television shows have made fame seem about just as easy as making a sandwich. And where few authors and television shows depict the working class actor, the ones excited by the prospect of landing a Taco Bell commercial. Few authors depict the struggles of the everyday life of these actors. Cannolis and Cocoa by Sven Popik. Los Angeles. This town just takes everything you've got inside you and it shits all over it, hands it back to you, and expects you to eat it. And the people in this town have some serious issue. I mean, what the fuck? Can nobody be on time? I mean, really? Is it all that complicated? I mean, all you gotta do is tell somebody you're gonna be at a given place at a given time and then show up there. It's not that complicated. But no, the city's all spread out, we got all this traffic. Why not leave a little bit earlier than 5 minutes before you're supposed to be in Long Beach, huh? You know, people preach these extreme political viewpoints all the time, like there could be no other answer. And then they jump down the throats of anybody who has anything remotely positive to say about George Bush. I mean, if you even thought about voting in that election, anybody other than John Kerry, well, you're just as worthless as that joke we've got for a governor. You know, I've been in this town long enough to know that everyone, I mean, even that rich gold digger driving her Hummer all around town, I mean, even they know it's trendy to say that SUVs are evil. But they offer up excuses. They say things like, oh, I just want my family to be safe. Or you hear things like, I want a hybrid car, but I'm waiting till one becomes really efficient first. I mean, meanwhile, they're just waiting for a bigger issue to come along that's bigger than their gas-guzzling monstrosities. Oh, and that's when the gays come out. You know, everybody gets in a tizzy because a couple of gays want to go off and get married. Really? What do you care? I mean, if a couple of fags want to stay committed to each other for the rest of their lives, let them. That's got nothing to do with you. Let them marry a frickin' toaster if they want. That's their business. It has nothing to do with you. You know, all you ever hear in this town is free speech. Just say what you want. It's a free speech in this town. Say whatever you want. But as soon as you say the word nigger, that's all over. You can't say the N-word because it's not politically correct. Really? It's just a word. Nigger, chink, slant-eyed, Jew-kite, dumb dick, cracker, redneck, Pollock, dog-blasted, honoring, no account, long-eared, doo-wop, beside spit, motherfucker. How's that? You feeling it yet? Huh? You getting squirmy? Good. And I'm not sorry. All right? I'm not going to apologize if what I had to say offends some turd with his head up his ass. You know who else I'm not going to apologize to? The bums. And they're called bums, by the way, not homeless deficient. They're bums. All right? One of these bums come up to me and ask me for money. I refuse to apologize if I don't want to give them my hard-earned money. In fact, you know what I'm going to do first? Next time I see them, I'm going to hit them up for money first. Hey, buddy, you got any money? That'll throw them off base, won't it? By the way, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there might be some bleeding heart who cares about those poor bastards. Well, when this town learns to lighten up and take a fucking jump, I mean, this is Los Angeles! We're supposed to be the crazy ones out there on the lunatic fringe. You know, every last piece of shit waiter who saunters up to your table singing show tunes with that shit-eating grin that makes you want to throttle their little wiry necks, it's those same dipshit retards who are complaining that their agent isn't doing enough for them. Yeah, well, guess what, fucko? You still gotta work. I mean, just because you have an agent now doesn't mean you get to sit back and wait for somebody else to do it all for you. You gotta be cold calling people on a daily basis, trying to make an end for yourself, not waiting for somebody else to do it. In fact, you gotta be working extra hard now to make sure he doesn't dump your ass and take on somebody else in your place. Oh, and coffee drinkers. Who the fuck cares? If somebody forks over $4 for a cup of coffee, oh, they're giving money over to a corporation, to the man. Really? The man? What man? If some Ferrari-driving dickhead wants to wear Tommy Hilfiger and the Gap while sucking down a Starbucks and doing rails of coke off the hooker's tits, fucking let him. That's got nothing to do with you. You know, the traffic in this town that never stops, even at 3 o'clock in the morning, the fucked up politics that ever prevent it from getting any better, the shitty colored buildings that house the most overpriced bullshit, the fact that you still can't find a decent cup of cocoa anywhere in this town. The fact that this town is worse than Vegas. Because in Vegas, they take your money. But this town takes your dreams. I mean, it takes, and it takes, and it takes, and it takes, and you know, just when you think you've had enough, you know, just when you think, you know what, fuck it, I'm going back home. Oh, man, it just gives you that little taste of success. Makes you think the next best thing is just right around the corner. I know this chick. She's been acting as an extra in movies for 47 years. As an extra. I mean, wouldn't you think after like year 12 you'd say, you know what, maybe this acting thing ain't my bag. I'm gonna go try my hand at accounting. No. But this woman's got one thing that the rest of her peers don't. She's got persistence. Look, make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real rough business. Less than 0.5% of the people who come to Los Angeles, the ones who are getting off those buses in droves, less than 0.5% of those people will act for a primary living. You want to direct? 1 out of 20 filmmakers who graduate film school go on to make another film. Now that's not to carry home an Oscar, that's just to get the tenacity to pick up another camera. Makeup artists. 1 out of 17 can afford to do makeup without having to have a secondary job. DPs, even worse. Editors, don't even get me started. I mean, but the worst. I mean, the absolute furthest shot of them all is acting. And so I act. Or more appropriately, I stand around and wait for food. And look, I know what this means. You know, I'm going to be spending long, cold nights huddled around a kerosene heater, and that's if the production company is nice enough to even rent one for us. And I know I'm going to go weeks without eating, and when I do eat, it's going to be a steady diet of macaroni and cheese. I get that too. You know, I'll compete against my best friends and the millions of other actors in this town over some little role that might not even pay me. And I'll spend my own money on gas and wardrobe, and I'll face the rejection of not getting that part in the pilot that would have paid me $50,000. $50,000, that's just shoot. That's not even if it gets picked up. And I will face the embarrassment of hyping myself up to all my friends and my family back home. When that movie comes out or that TV show goes on the air and they don't see my pretty face up there, I'll tell them. You know, I'll own up like a man and I'll say, you know what? This wasn't good enough. Why? What, crazy? I mean, are all the people who come to Los Angeles just all gluttons for punishment? Or is there something bigger? Because the truth is, every one of us, I mean, maybe not 47-year lady, but the rest of us, we're all joined together over one thing. We're all in it for the stardom. I mean, let's be honest. At night, we write our little Oscar speeches for the coming of the one day we know it's got to happen. Because we know how good it's going to feel, you know, to turn back to Ryan Hamilton, that guy who tripped you down the halls every day of your high school and say, hey, Ryan, fuck you, buddy. Or to turn to Angie Reagan and say, hey, Angie, you stood me up on prom night, so fuck you too. That's why we do it, because we know how good it's going to feel when that day finally comes. And it has to, right? This is, for all intents and purposes, an addiction.